All right, guys, we got a really good show for you today. We have Isaiah Walker. He goes to Wyoming High School, and he's committed to Belmont. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, so I kind of want to start out. Did you play any other sports growing up as a kid?
No, played no other sports. I was strictly basketball kind of growing up. When I was young, I did, of course, the little little league soccer, all the stuff normal kids play. But for the most part, it's been basketball since I was young.
Wow, really? That's
Yep.
you don't hear that too much, but it's worked out for you for sure. I wanted to kind of talk about you're the son of a former Xavier standout, Tyrese Walker. He went to Hamilton High School, 1990, high on Mr. Basketball. Do you think that had a major effect on your basketball and everything?
For sure, for sure. I think just having a guy like that, in my life, just in general, every time I want any advice in the game of basketball, I can go to him, and then it definitely raises expectations a little bit. But I try to just make sure I'm doing this thing for me, and I found joy in again basketball, and he's a great resource to have throughout my career.
Yeah, for sure. Um, you might have touched on it, but who was like your most influential people in your basketball career?
I would definitely say my dad and then my brother as well. I think my brother was really intricate for me because we always play 1-on-1. He was older than me. He's 4 years older than me, so he was always bigger than me growing up. So he used to try to rough me up, playing 1-on-1 and stuff like that. It was always frustrating when you're younger and you can't beat him. But it definitely worked out for me, and definitely made me a little tougher and kind of shaped me into the player I am today.
Yeah, for sure. That's like my cousin. He used to beat up on me, but I
Yeah,
got
for
him
sure.
now.
I hear it. I hear it.
Yeah. I want to talk about you had a great junior season last year. Your offer sheet ballooned up after you led Wyoming to an undefeated regular season last year as a junior. First off, how did that kind of happen, and what was going through your mind while all those offers and schools were talking to you? And then the second part of that question, how do you think Wyoming would have done if you had a full season, could have had the state tournament?
I think for the first part of the question, it was a blessing with all that thing with all that kind of happening really quickly in quarantine. I know for a lot of guys, quarantine and coronavirus kind of hurt their recruitment, and for me, it kind of worked in reverse. It all came down to my film since we really didn't have AAU, so and I feel like I had a pretty good highlight tape,
Yeah.
and a lot of coaches took a chance on me, and I was really blessed to have the opportunity. I know a lot of kids wish they were in my seat at that time, so I just try not to take any of that for granted and just make sure I'm giving every school and every coach a true chance and really hearing what they got to say from me. And then in terms of our season, man, it was definitely disappointing with everything ending how abruptly it ended. But it kind of showed me, it gave me a new perspective on just games in general. You just you never know the day or the time that things could end. So you got to make sure you take advantage of every opportunity you get to lace them up. So I just try to make sure I'm giving my all every single game, every single practice for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Great perspective on
Right.
everything for sports. Yeah.
Yep.
I thought it was pretty cool. You got a congratulatory video message from Steph Curry last year. Do you know about that, or like how'd that happen?
Actually, I had no idea, and I know that we were supposed to go to the award show originally, and I knew I was in the top three for Player of the Year. I didn't know if I was gonna win it yet, and then obviously Corona happened, so we had to do it virtual, and I just happened to get on to the award show, like little like Zoom call or whatever, and I saw the D1 player, I saw Steph Curry congratulate him, and then I was like, well, if I win D2, I wonder if he'll do the same thing, and he did, and it's one of those cool things that you just won't forget. You know what I'm saying? I felt definitely lucky for that to happen. I know it felt good in the moment for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That was really cool to see. I was
Yeah,
watching, so I was going to
yeah.
ask about that. Um, why did you choose to go to Belmont? What was the big
Uh, yeah, yeah. For me, I think I always try to look at things like I'm not always going to choose the biggest school because I think I easily could have waited it out, waited for the so-called bigger offers. But for me, it was all about fit. Where can I go and play for a coach that I want to play for, where I'm loved and they really want me, and the playing style fits me perfectly. I think Belmont was able to offer all those things, and they showed me they wanted me from the jump. You know what I'm saying? So they had been there for a while, been there from day one, and I just yeah, I wanted to go to the right fit where I can go in. I'm playing with guys that that play similar to me. They have a similar mindset to me. So I think it's gonna be a great fit. I can't wait to get down there in June.
Yeah, I personally was really excited. I'm a Belmont fan myself. I went to the first four a couple years back, and
Right.
Dylan Windler was there.
Yeah.
I went to a couple games against Murray State, so they're a great program. I love watching them every year, and
Right.
I'm really happy for
No,
it.
it's a big time program. A lot of people don't understand that until you get in the tournament. For them to be in a tournament 9 of the past 15 years, there's not many schools that can say that. So I think it's definitely a big time program, even though it's so called a mid major.
Yeah,
What I
people
mean?
sleep on the Ohio Valley Conference as a whole.
Oh yeah, oh
That's
yeah,
a strong conference.
for
It's
sure.
great games. Have you watched any of Belmont's games this year? How do you think they're doing?
Oh, I watch pretty much everyone that I can that I can look at. Just trying to let my eyes on everything, get accustomed to the program as much as I can without being there. But man, they're doing as I expected, man. They're doing great. I think they honestly deserve a little more respect from the AP polls and stuff like that. But when you have a culture like that, the way they're playing doesn't surprise me at all because guys don't care about stats or anything personal. They want to go out there and win. They're
Yeah,
playing winners. And like you see every year, they lead the country in assists, and it's no surprise. It's a
yeah.
direct correlation. Yep.
I always see him as like a 24 plus win team every year.
Mm-hmm.
It always seems like.
Right.
I want to
Yep.
transition. How's your season personally going as a whole? And how has COVID limited you, or how's it going?
It's going pretty well. We're finally getting on a consistent schedule. I think at first we had 2 quarantines kind of early, so we played 3 games and we played 3 really really hard teams, 3 big D1 schools. We went 0-3, and now we've won last 9 of our last 10. So we're kind of getting things going with some continuity going with our schedule. It's less choppy. We're not getting shut down anymore for the most part. So I think we're trending in the right direction. And now because of COVID, we're kind of having to squeeze some games in. So these next 2 weeks, we have 4 games each week, which is gonna be it's gonna be a killer. But I think like I always gotta say, it's better than not playing. So I'm looking forward to going out there and just doing our thing.
And you find out really who your team is during those hard times, because that brings you
Yeah.
together for state
Yep.
and everything.
Oh, for sure. I think just when adversity is kind of facing you, I think that says everything about a team. If you can turn around and face it. Like I think at one part we're gonna have a stretch where we have 4 games in 5 days, which is gonna be really really hard. And I think the last 2 games, the third and fourth game, that's gonna say everything about us. I think, in my opinion. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to talk about when you were growing up, watching the NBA or college. Did you really model your game after anyone, or who's your favorite player?
I think, my favorite player of all time is LeBron James, but I think in terms of just modeling my game after somebody, the past few years, I love guys like CJ McCollum. I think I love the way he plays, and it's not like a guy that's necessarily on the radar as much as you think he should be. But I love watching his game, and then I would say probably Jason Tatum. Those are my 2 guys. If I'm sitting down watching highlights, it's gonna be those 2 guys. I just love the way they play the game, and I try to implement a little bit of from everybody. You know what I'm saying? Try to get a little bit of things from everybody that I can.
Yeah, I love to hear CJ McCollum. That's a little shout out to my conference, the Patriot League. That's where I'm playing at Lafayette next week. So a little shout out there.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
I always wanted to talk about, you were kind of alluding to it when you're watching, Belmont. What do you feel like you really want to work on the most this summer, whether it's the rest of the season for next year?
Right. I think for me, the 2 biggest things for me is getting stronger. Just trying to make my transition into college as smooth as possible. Because I want to be able to play right away. I want to be able to help the team as soon as I can. So I think physically being stronger and being able to play with guys that are way older is a big piece of that. And then along with that, it's just keep my shot quicker, off the bounce, and making sure I pick my spots a little bit better. Using less dribbles, just trying to condense my game a little bit. Because in college you can't dribble 10, 11 times to get a bucket. So you gotta make sure it's keep it down to 3 to 4 dribbles and try to stay effective with those dribbles.
Yeah, for sure. I can see that. Honestly, it's a big jump for everything.
Yeah.
Interesting to hear for different sports. Everything's pretty universal is the quickness. You got to get,
Yeah.
quicker in every sport, I've noticed.
Yeah.
I want final two questions. I wanted to talk about, what are your hobbies outside of basketball? What do you like to do?
For me, outside of basketball, I honestly just like to spend a lot of time with my family. I think, especially now in like kind of quarantine now, I just appreciate family time as much as I can, especially because I know I'm going away to college in a few months. So I think, just spending a lot of time with my family and then hanging with friends. And besides that, just kind of playing video games. That's about it. For me, it's really just basketball and family time for me.
Yeah, for sure. I'm same way with that. I always ask this final question. How do you want people to remember Isaiah Walker when your basketball career is over?
I think for me, the biggest thing is that I want to be able to motivate and inspire some guys that are younger than me.
Mhm.
And I want them to be able to look back, because right now my team right now is there's me and one other senior, and then there's a lot of younger guys that are the first time playing varsity. And I want them to remember me as a guy that was, that was a great leader and a guy that would never ask them to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely, be remembered as that a guy, a leader, not a follower, a guy that's definitely, willing to get his hands dirty and he's gonna do things his way. You know what I mean? Just try to straight true to myself in that type of way. So that's about it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you for coming on, Isaiah. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. No problem, man. Thanks for having me.